the grandest spectacle, the greatest show of all, Johnny Bang Bang Show. Here's your host, Robert Gifford.
It's me. I am the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Bang Bang is the game. Robbie G, Bobby G, Johnny Bang Bang is also the name. I'm sitting here with my man, my partner in crime, as always, Grant the Mark Clark, or AKA Sonny Batunsky. What's up, buddy? How was the weekend affair for you?
Not much, not bad. Great weekend. I'll put this out already. So Backlash was yesterday, and due to family commitments, I did actually not get to watch the show.
But due true to a diehard fan, he's been all over the socials,
Twitter and all that. So.
Yeah. He enough to get his perspective, at least on the results, the fallout, and all the things that come from it.
So I'll probably be more of the moderator for that section.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll get more of the insights, and I'll chime in here and there with certain things. But, everything, great show. So.
Yeah, great show. Backlash was a great show. A lot of things, fun things from the weekend. I thought SmackDown was awesome because they were hailing from Puerto Rico for SmackDown as well, which I love that they're doing that rather than giving us a pre-recorded something from somewhere else in the States.
Like Wichita, Kansas or something.
Yeah, dude, if you're going to be doing it, do it right. You know what I mean? Just give us 2 nights, give those guys their fix, because, hell, you're not going back for another 20 years. You know what I mean?
They might go back sooner now after.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't, especially for at least a live event, right? It was an awesome weekend for that. We'll talk to you, give you a little bit of the rundown of what we're going to be doing here. We're going to talk Backlash, give you the recap, the fallout, talk all those things. We're going to then work into the world's... Not the world's. That's the NWA. We're talking about the World Heavyweight Championship tournament that's going to be taking place. It leads up to Night of Champions.
They have released the 12 participants.
Yeah, which is
they just did. So
crazy that they didn't do it last night at Backlash just to kind of promote it. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. AEW, their storylines are heating up. We finally know that we're going to get that Pillars match, which is everybody's been talking about. And I think that's a huge story that needs to be told in AEW. And I'm very glad they're getting there. We'll wrap up with a little bit of CM Punk update, and then, as always, give you the 60 seconds of NXT. Lots to talk about, any rumors and stuff that maybe we can jump into, or just anything that we learned along the way. We'll talk about it at the end if we can get to it, because I know there's been an update, and yet nothing was said about Bray Wyatt, so we'll talk about that too. Anyways, WWE had a big weekend for their 4th pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah. Fourth of the year?
4th of the year. You got Royal Rumble in January. You had Elimination Chamber. You had WrestleMania, and now you had Backlash. Because I think Elimination Chamber took place in February, and then they went 5 weeks building up to WrestleMania, and then now we got Backlash. And in my opinion, this is 4 for 4. This is unprecedented for WWE in a long time to hit on, obviously January through March, whether or not or April, Royal Rumble through WrestleMania, we know is whether or not you're going to like the results. It's going to be the fun time of the year. You know what I mean? Backlash, we talked about it last week. Very little interest, but you kind of alluded to how it's going to be live because of the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd was going to make it, especially to Bad Bunny being he at first was the host and then became a participant. And the emphasis, I think, on Latino-based wrestlers too. I mean, you had Dominic and Damian, the LWO, Bad Bunny. I mean, the people that showed up during the show too. So.
What's your thoughts on people like Logan Paul, people like Bad Bunny? I set them aside from all of the past celebrities that came in because they dive into the craft. They want to be great at it, so they put the time in. Bad Bunny has been in the back, working for months at a time, working on his craft because he loves the business and he wants to do well at it. And it shows in the performance. Just the how they pronounce it, the Minicucci or Mini Driver. What's that?
Michinoku or something
like that. Michinoku Driver, whatever it is. He did that to perfection to start off the match against Damian Priest.
I mean, a Canadian Destroyer too.
Canadian Destroyer.
a move. I mean, yes, it's both people doing things in the move, but that's still an impressive move to hit.
It's not easy. It must be easier than we think because Alexa Bliss and a lot of people have been trying it lately, but like it looks very complicated, right? There's a timing to it, I would assume. What's your thoughts on people like Bad Bunny, not only just being a part of the show, being the main event, double main event, but like being the face of that entire pay-per-view yesterday and representing Puerto Rico?
I'm perfectly fine with it. Going back to, mentioning Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, that they are people that are, I mean, yes, they're wrestling fans, and every single person that gets involved with WWE, you'll hear a story. Oh yeah, I watched wrestling as a kid, but it seems like they're like, especially Bad Bunny's case is huge into WWE and it has been since a kid. So yeah, he's living his dream.
Yeah.
At this point, and he's taking the most of it. I mean, every time we see him and Logan Paul, every time we see him, they put on stellar performances. So where it used to be, they were just maybe a manager, a host, they'd get a little in-ring action, take a bump. I mean, they're putting on full matches that people are giving them almost 5 stars and stuff like that. Like
it fully deserved, not just because even the technical side of the match is improved, and Logan Paul does a really good job at that. He's much better than Bad Bunny, but just the storytelling, right? Mm-hmm. Bad Bunny is up there second to none. He's just as good at that, if not better, than a lot of the wrestlers, because he just wears it on his face, the emotions, you can see it, you buy into it. I want to ask this question. Maybe we're getting a little off topic, but I'm okay. I think it's worth diving into. The idea of maybe you and I as white males in America, okay, we're very well represented in entertainment, right? Especially in the world of professional wrestling. Yeah. And not to dive too much into the race thing, but I do wonder if it felt so special to Puerto Rico yesterday, not only because it's first time being there in 18 years, but like it's a very heavy Latino card. LWO is making its comeback. Yeah. Bad Bunny is the face of it. Do you think that helps these live events? Like, do you think that's what we might take it for granted? Where for them, they are just marking out for every single match on that card yesterday because it's first time there, but they're also seeing like Zelina Vega. Yeah. Like Zelina Vega does not get that ovation in, like you said, Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, well, in leading up to the match, if you asked anybody, that's a squash match, and I think when we did our predictions, we thought it would be. And
I'll do you one better. She's not getting that ovation in Queens, New York. No. She gets a nice ovation in Queens, New York, but she's not getting that. She's not even from Puerto Rico, but she's being represented. She's representing an entire crowd of people who feel they're underrepresented. Is that fair to say?
No, I agree. And like you said earlier, I mean, who knows when they'll go back there?
Yeah.
And they deserve. I mean, we have a little note about potentially. I mean, there was a joke on Twitter saying that if it's not a Big Four pay-per-view, it shouldn't be hosted on American soil anymore.
Right.
They should be overseas in different countries because of those fans. We're wrestling fans.
We're spoiled.
We're gonna have a good time, but if we go see Backlash in Detroit, we're gonna have a good time for certain matches. We probably will say, "Oh, this is the pee break, bathroom break for this one," where those fans were diehard.
They're not missing anything. They're standing for the whole thing.
And I mean, like I said, not to have the card with a lot of Puerto Rican-based, Latino-based wrestlers on it. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Showcase, and now you're gonna have kids in Puerto Rico that was their first WWE pay-per-view they ever went to, that now that's their dream, is to be a wrestler. And it's just funny to me. Like, you could literally have this conversation with somebody who doesn't watch wrestling and somebody who doesn't listen to rap. Two different people that have, and they could both be like, dude, my favorite rapper is Bad Bunny. And the kid be like, Bad Bunny the wrestler? Yep. And you'd be like, wait, what? You know what I mean? They might not even know the other one exists. And just a general thing too, like people that, like, my brother hates wrestling.
I
was telling you earlier. And he loves Bad Bunny, one of his favorite rappers right now. And getting a hold of me, and he was like, "Oh my God, I saw that clip of that.
Yeah,
what is that?" I mean,
that's what you need to tell your brother. Be like, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. That's why we watch wrestling.
Yep. Oh no, I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what these people that are non-wrestling fans, they don't understand. Oh, it's fake and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not what we're doing, man. We're watching it just like you're watching any other TV show. It's a live energy. It's an energy that you're not getting on your TV show. It's a live crowd that feeds it. That pay-per-view, very well could have, if that's done in Wichita, Kansas, it might fall flat. Like you and I talked about, we didn't think there was much to meat on the bone there. And now leaving it last night, I'm like, holy, I started watching it at midnight and I'm like, this is going to keep me up for 2.5 hours.
It's like, I mean, Chamber probably could have been a decent show, but the fans in Montreal just elevated it.
Do you think let's just say booking, maybe not, let's just not throw, not just WWE, but let's AEW, WWE, because AEW they use Chicago very well.
Kind of there outside of Jacksonville,
that's their home.
Chicago's their home.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think the booking these days is being done more long-term, knowing they're going to go there? You had Clash at the Castle with Drew McIntyre. You had, Bad Bunny now in Puerto Rico, Elimination Chamber in Montreal. Like, are they falling into something and then they change the card based on this? Or do you think they have long-term vision booking to go along with the locations they're at? Because I got to tell you, I hope it's the latter, because I think it's leading to more exciting, like what I'm watching, the product I'm watching. Forget the fact that Roman Reigns wasn't even there. I'm talking about Backlash in a good positive light today because of how much fun it was to watch.
I think you're on the latter one, where they're having their stories and they're kind of picking locations based around that, stuff like that.
All right.
And keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it because it was a hell of fun. Let's talk about it. Let's be specific. Let's talk about the card. Let's talk about how they opened the show. They did open the show. First time I've ever seen it with a one shot. Now, whoever was running this, I got my own media production company. I do not have a drone or an FPV drone that I can run. So I'm not going to sit here and super criticize, but I know a couple people that have them that are very fluid with their one shot motions. A lot of the great videos that you've seen. I don't know if it was because of a live event, if it was more difficult to pull off because not everybody was in on it.
Well,
but it was a little shaky, but it was still awesome opening.
Well, and there's two. I mean, when Matt Hardy debuted in AEW, they wanted the drones, but there's certain rules for stadiums, things and stuff like that it might be different. So maybe they had to
fair enough
follow some rules that had to change things. But
fair enough. But it was a very cool opening, something we haven't seen before in the world of WWE or in professional wrestling. I haven't. Very cool.
WWE has has it on their Twitter. So if you haven't seen it,
check it out.
Checking it out
for sure. So start us off with the first match of the night.
Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw Women's Champion, with Bianca Belair defying the odds to retain her title.
Defying the odds.
I'm going off what some of these captions are saying.
Yeah, you're reading it. Nobody there believed that Bianca Belair was going to lose that match.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the match was perfectly fine. Again, the match is elevated by the crowd. I think WWE did it right by putting that match on the card and putting it first. The crowd is excited to get started. That's the only place that match could have been on the card where it doesn't fall flat.
And you put two high or top class women's wrestlers in there too, and they showed out. We all knew there was going to be distractions from Damage Control.
Bailey almost cost Io the match, and I do wonder if there's going to be backlash from that.
And then also, very impressive spot. Bianca Belair gorilla pressing Io Sky with one arm, but man, that was a rough landing.
Scary ending.
Hope
too.
There's no injury with that. Any other?
Nothing big to be mentioned there, other than the fact that Bianca will retain, and I don't know who's going to take that off of her anytime soon. I do think there needs to be. Here's what I believe needs to be done. The draft just took place, so I'm not 100% sure who's on the female side of things on the roster right now because we just haven't been associated with it long enough. She needs a fresh kind of rivalry.
I think
somebody other than Becky, she needs something fresh.
I think her reign. It's been a good reign, but it's at the point where it's kind of
the
same every single time. And I almost enjoy her as a challenger more than the champion,
more of a chaser.
So
yeah, I agree.
But we won't spend too much time. So then the next match, Seth freaking Rollins slays Omos. Slays the Giant.
Seth freaking Rollins slays Omos. 2 losses now for Omos back to back in big high profile matches. Where are you at with him?
He's one of those attractions that I think, a giant that losses, yeah, it stinks that he's losing. You got to give him a win here and there, but it's not going to, in my opinion, it doesn't affect him that much because they'll put one of their up and comers that they want to put against him.
What's the ceiling? What's the ceiling for Omos? Like,
Just
for you as a fan,
attraction.
for you as exactly,
because
for you as you don't want to see him as a champion, do you?
No, no. And spoiler alert, he's not in the world heavyweight championship picture.
Thank God,
which they tease that.
Yeah, I know.
On Twitter, they were like, "Oh, even though he lost, he's still on the prize." But I mean, it's cool to see him on Raw or whatever show he's going to be on because he's technically a free agent,
right?
Squashing like 3 people, but they're all enhancement talents. But then he loses in the pay-per-view. I mean, if he can make your up and comers look good and give them a big obstacle,
I do think in order for him to be an attraction, though, he does have to beat somebody of credibility. Like even the Big Show.
I mean, Big Show had some titles too. So.
Yeah, Big Show. Big Show. I think the best thing for Omos is like to get another big,
make a tag team,
and just make a tag team, and he can have a tag team championship.
He'll probably have a run with the IC title. I bet at some point.
See, and that's the question. Like that when I go into the ceiling thing, do you want to see Omos as your IC champion ever?
I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't want to see him.
Really?
I don't want to see him with the big belts.
I think IC title is the second big belt. Oh, you mean other than that? Gotcha.
The Universal.
Yeah. There's 3 of those now.
Yeah,
So
there's 3.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, Seth Rollins ends up getting the win
with a top rope, big curb stomp, which scares me anytime someone jumps off the top rope and tries to land like a stomp kick. It just makes me think of Sid.
Yeah, exactly. The crowd's going nuts doing this theme song, the whole thing. I'm a little tired of the theme song thing, but it's over. And Seth Rollins is my favorite, if not my second favorite in wrestling, active wrestlers, I should say. So, like, I'm okay with it. I'm just happy to see that he's getting his flowers because for a long time he wasn't getting them. And it seems like he might get his flowers here in a little bit. We'll talk about that predictions in a second. But
all right, so the next, Austin Theory survives and retains as the U.S. champion against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed.
All right, we need to break this down a little bit. Austin Theory retains and gets the pin on Bronson Reed. Okay, after a spear from Bobby Lashley. Okay, Bronson Reed taking the pin. No, I think there's no harm done there because he took it from Bobby Lashley. I want to go on a record and say something. This might be a hot take. This might not be. Bobby Lashley is not a star no more, in my opinion.
I agree.
You agree?
I think he had the title, the WWE title. That whole thing ran through, and then now he's just stuck in the mid card with the USA title, and it's not.
He's been there forever doing that. I don't want to see him back in the big picture with the championships. Like, I would like to see. Here's what I would do. We were just talking about it. Hey, big guy, you and Omos are back together now, and now you're going for tag team championships. Because, like, when I say he's not a star, it's just his character needs something fresh too. Because I'm just not there with him anymore.
That's why I liked him in the Hurt Business.
Loved him in the Hurt Business.
I mean, Bobby Lashley doesn't need to talk. He's a big, muscular guy, having MVP. Perfect.
A mouthpiece.
Yeah, build the Hurt Business back. Put him back in there.
Yep.
Put Omos in it. Put Alexander and
Cedric and Shelton. I'm with you, dude.
Rebuild that. Give him a faction. Let him, because I would be fine with him being in the big title picture if he had that group.
If he had that group, yes. I'm not saying that he's not a potential to be a star again. It's just his stock. I'm not buying in right now. So,
I mean, very heelish way of winning, but I mean, we kind of expected it to be one of the Bobby or us in theory because they're both going to SmackDown,
right?
And you're not going to have your IC title and your
you're not.
Poor Bronson Reed though. He beat Okada one time.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Next one matchup. Rhea Ripley spoils homecoming for Zelina Vega, retains Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship.
I got to be honest with you. I completely told you last week I thought this was going to be a smash, and then you're like, well, it's Puerto Rico. She'll probably get a little bit of a run. You were right.
But I still think in the end, I still thought she would get the crowd pop, but then get just destroyed.
She had they had a legitimate match. And I got to tell you, from the very beginning of the entrances, first of all, Rhea Ripley, contrary to Bobby Lashley, she's a freaking star now. She feels to me now like Charlotte Flair feels to me. Mm-hmm. Like she is if you look at the size difference between Zelina Vega and Rhea Ripley yesterday, it's comical. It was just one of those things that is the Backlash pre-show on. Sure, we'll be your Backlash pre-show. It was on last night, but we'll definitely be your pre-show. Just to make sure you don't listen because we're giving you the results. Anyways, dude, Zelina Vega, when she came out, she had the Puerto Rican crowd or flag as her outfit, and then she lifted, and she just looked like $1 million, looked like a star. And that shot, that's the one thing. The match itself was fine. She hit her spots, did her moments. You know, nobody really believed that she was going to win, but like she had her moment. Yeah, she had her moment, and just like seeing her standing there, you know, kind of arms out to the side, tears running down her face, and the crowd just kind of building. They're cheering. They're seeing her reaction, how important it is to her, and they explode for it. It was the best, man. I loved it.
Biggest thing for Zelina Vega, I think this, not in a sense a star-making performance. It made a performance that she deserves to be.
Yes.
For sure. And she deserves to be an active in-ring competitor. Yes, I know she won the Queen of the Ring thing, but no one ever really was credible. Now I'm looking at her like, you know, if they have a match, an intergender match with LWO, I'm in. Like, let her wrestle. She did a fantastic job.
I'm somebody
I don't need her just to be a manager anymore.
I'm somebody that am okay with her going back and forth. She definitely can do both now. You know what I mean? Because there was never this idea that she was going to be like, I don't buy her as a full-time women's wrestler because I think you'll just burn out on her. And and then I think she'll lose this luster. So like being where she's at right now at the LWO, I like dude, I got to tell you, as much as I thought Judgment Day was just going to be a flash in the pan after Edge left, that thing feels as relevant as ever to me still. They've done a very good job. That's a year removed, and LWO's coming. That feels relevant to me. So, like...
I have a question, though, for you.
Yeah.
So, outside of the results for Bad Bunny, because, you know, he was wearing the LWO shirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The base LWO, I don't think they've won, really. In all honesty, yes, Ray beat Dom at...
Well, when did they really become LWO?
I mean,
was that right before WrestleMania week?
Right before Mania, they had the shirt thing, but they were never really out with an entrance as a group until after Mania, and they have yet to really win.
And yet they're more over now than they've been.
But do you think they need a win here?
Nah, eventually.
Yeah, okay.
Eventually. I wins and losses matter, but not all the time. And right now, I just think okay, you tell me. I would say Bad Bunny was a victory for LWO, even though he's not a member of it, right? That was a collective Latino win last night, right? Yeah. So even though they didn't go over, they got over.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That was just something I saw people saying, like, are they ever actually going to win? I mean, I don't really care because when they come out and you hear Viva La Raza,
crowd pops.
I'm sold. I don't care.
Me too, man.
All right. So next match. One of the co-main events. So Bad Bunny, which it was co-main event, but it wasn't
the second. It wasn't the penultimate. So I'm going to tell you though, this has been done before I think it was WrestleMania 2 had 3 locations.
Yeah. And
they did a main event at different one. WrestleMania 2 is ultimately looked at as a big failure because of that, especially if you bought a ticket, you only got like an hour's worth of a show and yada, yada. But I want to say this. I actually think it worked.
Oh, I agree.
When I watched that, I'm in the middle of this card carrying. The crowd is going nuts. It felt like a big time fight. It felt like a big time atmosphere. And it was 9:30. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would actually like to see them do more double main events where it's billed that way, even though the main event is really mid-card match of the night. I'm for it. Sign me up. I thought it was awesome. I just want to say a couple things. We talked off air. We got to talk on air a little bit about it. Yeah. That entrance, you already mentioned it with your brother, right? Did you know that song beforehand?
No.
Dude, it is on my playlist already.
I'm going to add it. I don't, what's it called?
I'm going to tell you right now what it's called. It's obviously Bad Bunny. And
I'm going to add it to mine right now.
Dude, it was da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll tell you what it is right now. It's like Shambro. It is Chambay. Chambea. Chambay, dude. That thing hits. That drone look when he's got, first of all, he looked jacked, right? He looked jacked. He came out. They hit that drone look. He comes out and he's standing with Damian Priest. And hats off to Damian Priest. He did everything he had to do to make that Bad Bunny look like a star. And I got it. The stock went up a little bit for me with Damian Priest because I respect him more now as a performer. Because I've never really been a big DP fan.
Gosh. Okay. And there we go. There's the line. We crossed it. No. So
I didn't even know what I said until you did that.
So Bad Bunny wins the match. No, the moment the word started in that song, I like watching videos of it. You could barely hear the commentator because you could hear the fans singing along.
Yeah.
Where normally, Seth Rollins' song goes, "Oh, we get that." Shinsuke, when people were doing his, some people sing. People will sing "Cult of Personality" all the time.
For sure, yeah.
But man, this crowd they hit every moment of it, and it was awesome. So
Fizzy, Seth won. Sorry, just want to throw that in there. Seth won. He beat Omos.
Yeah, Seth won with a top rope curb stomp. So with this match, highlights of it, like you said, hitting a Michinoku driver right off the back.
Off the get, dude.
It was a street fight. So things like that.
There was that big spot where they, the Damian Priest, I suplexed Bad Bunny through the tables and stuff. That was huge. But the climax of this whole night is you got
Judgment Day interfering. Finn Balor and our boy
Dom. He's out there. They come out. They start beating up Bad Bunny. Then Ray comes out with no music. I thought this was great. No music for Ray.
Just fans cheering. You've got that interaction. This reminded me of the NWO DX segment at WrestleMania 31. I thought it was phenomenal. There's just layers to it, right? And then all of a sudden, Carlito's song hits. I spit in the faces of
people who don't want to be cool. Jack to the T. Did you know he was going to be a part of this?
No, I did not.
I didn't either.
The backbreaker.
Backstabber?
Backstabber.
Yeah.
Simple move, but awesome. I had no idea he was going to be in there. I mean, now, okay, so that happened, and then Judgment Day spills out, and another music hits. It's Savio Vega.
Savio freaking Vega, dude.
So, who also has an awesome theme song, but they teased that one earlier in the show because, they met Bad Bunny, or Ray introduced him to Savio Vega.
Side note, is D'Lo Brown Dominican? Is he black? He was black, right?
Yeah.
He's black.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to kind of, all right, Savio Vega then. We'll go back to him.
So they introduced, but Savio Vega comes out and evens the odds, hits a nice kick on.
Dude, how old is Savio?
Old.
He's got to be, is he 60? A little bit tick under?
Yeah, he's probably late 50s, early 60s.
He got that Chuck Norris leg all the way to the top, dude. I would be scared of Savio. Now, you brought to my attention, though, that these guys are still actively fighting, even Savio.
Because Carlito's family, him, Primo Epico, their family, and I think Savio Vega is a big part of it, too. They have a independent wrestling.
So it's kind of what's cool about it is like down the road, you could see like a bloodline feud. You know what I mean? Yep. Like that would be fun if they could. Sign me up. Carlito needs to be back in the WWE, and they need to do it in a serious fashion.
Yeah, I'd bring back Primo and Epico too.
Bring back the whole thing, dude.
The Cologne family, just make it huge. And then also the LWO comes out too, and everybody attacks. So crowd's losing their shit. And then Bad Bunny
ultimately wins the match.
Hits a sliced bread number 2 as well, which is also impressive, and then hits the Bunny Destroyer, as they call it, so a Canadian Destroyer for the win.
I would have hit that Canadian Destroyer 2 minutes sooner into the match, because after everything fizzled out with the Judgment Day and Savio and LWO and all them, and they all went to the back, there was like another 10 minutes of that match.
There was a lot that happened.
I would have cut it in half, but still, they got the result. They all came back out. You had that great showing at the end, and then the crowd obviously just losing their shit the whole time.
So that ends probably the best match of the night.
It's hard. It's not
hard
even.
to-
Yeah.
So thinking after that, we have next match.
Yeah.
How we have 2 matches after that. How are they going to live up? And I think they did a fantastic job.
They did, because usually, first of all, we thought Bad Bunny and them would be the main event.
Yeah.
Right? The main event. And they weren't. They're mid-card. And then, which is good, because they're saying to Cody, we're investing in you, right? With that being said, now what are you saying to KO and Riddle and all them, saying, hey, you're going to follow that?
Have fun going follow Puerto Rico's favorite son.
Exactly.
So-
but they did, and they did a great match. The storytelling was still on par and great there. In the crowd, I think they were a little spent, but they still, when it got to the moments, they got there.
So next match is a cracked bloodline beats Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. Sorry, just Riddle. He doesn't have his first name back. So lead in, we'll give a little starting point. Friday night, they had a backstage thing where Solo was taping his thumb, and the Usos are hyping it up and saying, like, you ready? You ready? And Jay's like, my brother asked you, are you ready? And he goes, I heard the question. I'll do what I need to. The better question is, are you guys going to?
Right.
And so leads in.
Really pushing Solo right now.
Which I'm fine with. I like that.
I am too. I
hope he's the one that takes the title off Gunther. No?
Ooh, I like that. I
mean, I know they're on different brands.
No, yeah.
But that would be awesome. So
that ain't gonna happen then if they're on different brands.
Not,
yeah.
But I can dream, and maybe one day Matt Riddle will get Matt back of his name. So great match, as you'd expect. All fantastic athletes out there. So I'm just trying to let me get some notes. Still the whole time they're still the whole Jay and Sammy teasing, you broke up the bloodline, my family, stuff like that. So ends up Zayn. I'm just making sure I want. So at one point Solo goes to hit the Samoan spike.
Yes.
And Jay's in the way.
Yes.
And
then he holds it for a while.
Yeah. And teases that tension. Blah blah. Things go on. And in the end. Jay hits super kick, but misses a splash.
Well, there's a couple of the little moments of contention where Jay was in the ring. Solo tags himself in. Jay looks at him like, bro, you serious? Mm-hmm. He gets out and then immediately tags himself back in, telling him to get out. So there's moments of contention, and I think they're doing it maybe to keep it interesting. I don't know that there's ultimately going to go anywhere with it, like as far as like a breakup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the foundation has been laid
that they're cracked.
They're cracked.
The family's splitting. But in the end, Solo is the one who gets the pin.
Yep.
Hits Riddle with a Samoan spike, which shocked me. That it was. I mean,
that what? What part shocked you?
That Riddle took the pin.
That doesn't shock me.
I could have seen it being KO just because.
Nope. Because KO and Sammy have to make their claim that they beat the bloodline, that they can't. You know what I mean? The only thing that I guess you could argue is that because Solo got the pin, you know what I mean? I think that's why Riddle. I gotta tell you, the match was great. The rivalry getting a little stale.
Do you think it's over now? Do you think the whole KO Sammy
it has to be?
Because they're on separate brands now. Guys.
Yeah, it has to be.
At that point. Even though technically the titles are two. They have both SmackDown and Raw, so they could.
I don't know what they're going to do with that then.
But the thing that shocked me, I thought after Mania, I thought maybe we'd have a Raw or SmackDown rematch. It'd be over.
Yeah,
and they did. I think they did a fantastic job continuing this story.
Yep, but now it needs to go right.
Where with Roman not being on the shows, you got to advance that story some way. And Solo stepped in now as a kind of a main player.
Yeah,
and with little words is making a huge impact.
Yeah, well, first of all, you got Paul Heyman still. That helps, but Solo is they are shining a light on him in a little bit bigger, bigger cast. So like, I'm all for it. I think they're doing well. They do need to go now a different direction. What's Riddle? Is he Raw?
Yeah, he's on Raw.
He's on Raw. Okay, so then they won't continue that. So I don't know what will come from it, but
I think, in all honesty, we're gonna get the next big feud for the Bloodline is going to be Jay and Solo. Maybe Roman steps in. Hey,
say that again. The next big feud for the Bloodline is Jay and Solo.
Yeah, where maybe Roman. That next time we see Roman, he calls for the council meeting like they did with or the court, whatever they want to do it, and figure it out. You two.
They fight each other.
Fight each other.
Ooh.
And just
But then they somehow rekindle.
Yeah, maybe maybe trial by fire. They beat the hell out of each other, and
I'm all for it, dude. Sign me up if that takes place. I just wonder because I still think they ultimately want to keep the bloodline together. Is what my thoughts are, but because I don't know if you can have a tribal chief when he has no tribe.
So that's maybe my thought. Maybe that's why they have them.
Interesting.
I mean, what do families do? Fight, and then they're usually close.
Okay.
Close after that. So
we'll keep an eye on it, see what happens. I'm all for it. We'll see. Side note, real quick. It sounds like we're gonna have our second pay-per-view coming up without is Reigns gonna be on the card? Because they're gonna highlight the tournament.
Yeah, at the Saudi
Arabia. So
you would think they'd want to have Roman there, especially how much money they're probably getting paid to be there.
I'm just wondering. I mean, right now
he'll get thrown into a simple match versus somebody watching just squash him.
I'm just curious, man. It's just does he right now? He doesn't need to be, but like it does get to a point where you want your heavyweight, you want your champion to defend, and who's going to be the next? What's his next rivalry? You know what I mean? Who's that? So, anyways, let's go to the main event of the night.
Brock Lesnar. So Cody Rhodes survives and beats Brock Lesnar.
Survives being the keyword, yeah.
Survives in a bloodied Brock Lesnar. That don't happen that much.
No, it doesn't. He took some color for this match. He really gave Cody the rub. You know, dude, it's so funny. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is why I love professional wrestling. I know last week we were talking about, like, can Cody win this match? Because then what the hell does that do to Brock? Can Brock, if he wins this, what's that do to Cody, right? Yeah. We always, as fans, and I'm just as guilty as anyone, but sometimes we get a little hysterical, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, they buried him. You know, we use terms like that maybe more than we should. Once again, I was reminded that if the story's crafted right, everybody can leave there being perfectly fine.
Yep, perfectly fine.
Cody won. He pinned Brock while Brock was putting the Kimura on him. And it just basically like a small package would work. He just escaped with a victory.
Which that makes it work because you survived.
You survived Brock Lesnar. And I think that works for me. Brock can go away now.
It reminds me of the times, throwing it back to old NXT, when Samoa Joe came in, and Samoa Joe was kind of like the killer.
Yeah.
And the only way Finn Balor retained his title was he put him up or went to do the Coquina clutch, and Balor just rolled back and luckily caught him. And escaped.
Yeah.
And they even played that. You didn't beat me. You escaped.
You escaped me. Yeah.
I mean, Brock Lesnar taking the crossroads too, and like
he does. A lot of people, he works, boy, and he'll sell for you. Mm-hmm. Interesting note from me though is I want to get your thoughts on this. And we've talked a little bit about like where is Cody Rhodes at right now with the fan base? Because WWE clearly wants him to be the star.
And there's rumors he's still the plan to take the title off of.
All that's still on pace. It feels, but what feels like to me is it's starting to feel like Seth Rollins, they want more. Yep. Every city, he's getting more of a cheer.
I mean, 12 minutes over in the UK, 12 minutes of them singing a song.
Crazy. But then there's this factor. Brock Lesnar is the ultimate attraction wrestler.
Yeah.
As much as they want to make Omos an attraction, Brock Lesnar is the attraction. The response for him yesterday in regards to his entrance versus Cody's entrance, it was way louder for Brock.
Everybody, I mean.
Is that now, my question is that just because it's Brock Lesnar now it feels like a big fight feel and the crowd is happy to see him because he's a big attraction? Is he, I mean, or at this current stage, not like overall, because we know Brock Lesnar is a bigger star than Cody Rhodes. But at this current stage, Cody Rhodes is supposed to be a bigger star than Brock Lesnar. What one does it feel like to you? Who's bigger star at this particular moment?
If you ask me who I think the bigger star is, Brock Lesnar. And I understand WWE wants it to be Cody.
Right.
But it's Brock Lesnar. Like the fact that, I mean.
We're in agreement on that.
When at first now we're seeing him a little bit more often than when he was a champion.
Yeah.
But still, I remember going to see when him is in Chicago at, what pay-per-view was it? Survivor Series? Yeah, it might have been him versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah,
and it was like, I love Rey Mysterio. He was one of my favorites growing up as a kid, but it's Brock Lesnar.
But
and I want to see Brock Lesnar throw people around.
Yeah,
So-
he's the sideshow. He's the big show. He's the
So
attraction.
Good match. When Brock likes you, or believes in you, he'll sell it. So he did.
And he does that to the moon. Cody survives. We end the show with a bloody beating.
And nothing, no like Brock attacking him after.
Nope.
No.
Just sitting in the ring and like surrealness.
Which probably will play into
Yeah.
the next coming few things.
Hey, Cody survives. His stock is now back up. A much needed win that he needed. And now we go into the announcement through Twitter today for the World Heavyweight Tournament announcement. Before we get to the players, they just had the draft.
Yes.
I don't like when they do shit like this. We talked about the draft and how it needed to feel bigger.
Yeah.
First of all, we kind of shit on it a little bit last week. But like now that's done and over. And we feel like we're going to get actual brand loyal participants. Then they talk about the free agents. That feels weird.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about how each show needs some type of a GM face. But you get this announcement that they're going to have 6 members of SmackDown
in this
tournament.
Which
do you like that?
I hate it. It's you had this brand split, and then you create a brand new championship because the SmackDown member had the biggest 2 belts,
And he's negotiated his way to not have to defend it all the time.
So you're potentially telling me, hey, we're going to do this tournament. Now this new belt that's supposed to be the big belt could be on that brand as well.
Yeah.
Like,
But so okay.
if they really wanted, just tell me Roman Reigns is going to be in the match.
Right, that's what it feels like. Is that they're gonna, maybe that's what they're going to try to find out. Maybe we get Roman versus Seth.
Yeah.
And Roman takes his first loss in forever.
But it doesn't take those those titles. It just takes he doesn't win this.
What if it's Cody versus Roman? Cody wins, but he doesn't take the belts. Does that? I'm asking you this question because we talked about if Cody was to win this belt, it feels like a consolation prize.
Yeah,
but
it's not the story that they're.
That's not the story, but let's say it is the story that they ultimately go to. If Cody was to beat Roman for this belt, Roman keeps his, Cody gets his W over Roman, and now he's got one. Does that feel like a consolation prize anymore? Because to me, it doesn't if he beats Roman, right?
If he beats Roman. Let's preface this. Roman's hasn't been announced.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. Then I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay.
But it.
All right.
Here,
No.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about
members.
For sure.
I'll read all the members, but there are some in here that you're like, yes, they could win it. There's some in here it's like, why are they in here?
Okay, go through each member one by one. I'm going to give a quick yay or nay if I think they could be the first champion.
I'll start from the bottom up. Why not? Sheamus.
Started from the bottom, now I'm here. No.
Edge.
Maybe.
Rey Mysterio.
No.
Bobby Lashley.
No.
AJ Styles.
Maybe.
Austin Theory.
No.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Maybe.
The Miz.
No.
Damian Priest.
No.
Finn Balor.
No.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
So
that's all of them?
yes, that's all.
So I've got 2 yeses. Obviously, Cody and Seth, we know, are top of that list. AJ Styles is a potential could. Shinsuke could. And I think there was a third one that I said maybe too.
I think you said it was Edge.
Edge could. 5 participants.
I'm going to give you one. After this, I'm not going to say he's going to be the huge person, but after that performance Saturday, I think Damian Priest has kind of elevated a little bit up higher. That potentially, because what they said they're going to do triple threat matches.
Yes.
To start off,
and each winner, have they announced who's in
No,
each match?
So they announced these today. Sorry, on Raw and SmackDown these weeks. They're supposed to announce the bracket and how things are going to shape out. So
what I don't like about the names that I've heard on this list, here's what I would have liked. Give me the 5 guys that we like, right? That are the maybes, plus the 2 others that we know.
Seth.
Give me Edge or AJ Styles. Give me Ray. Give me Cody. Give me Seth.
And Shinsuke.
And give me Shinsuke, right? Give me those 6. sprinkle into me, like Damien's fine on there. Like I'm okay with that. Sheamus is fine. But give me 2 or 3 young guys. LA Knight.
Hey.
Give me 2 or 3 young guys just so I had this slight chance that they might go in that direction.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Putting LA Knight should have been in this.
I don't want to see the Miz in this. I don't want to see, Miz doesn't need this shit. No. Finn Balor, we don't believe is going to win this. You know what I mean?
Sheamus is not going to win.
No, but he could be somebody. So like when I was saying a maybe, he could have been a maybe, but he's not going to win it.
So here's the thing. You have some of these people in here that were like, why are they in? But no Drew McIntyre.
No, and first of all,
Brock Lesnar. No, technically Roman Reigns.
The fact that Drew McIntyre is not in this is actually a little nerve-wracking for me because his contract. Have you been reading about this?
There's rumors he's not happy.
He's not happy, which I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but he just had a high-profile WrestleMania match. He just had an amazing Clash at the Castle. I don't know what he has to not be happy about.
Because he's not in the main event title picture, I guess that's the biggest thing. Which it's not. You're never gonna, unless you're the champion. You're not always gonna be in there.
This is where I can't buy into the fact that he thinks he's gonna go to AEW or Impact or.
The rumor is that once his contract's done, he's done wrestling.
I don't buy that for a second, dude.
Said he'll finish with WWE.
There's just no way he's done wrestling. This guy left. Rebuilt himself. Got to the highest highs. I still think he's there. He's just not in the big title picture right now. He's got to be compensated well. WWE definitely loves him. Vince gave him his freaking sword for crying out loud.
That's a cool sword.
Yeah, it is a cool sword. Okay. All right. We'll see. That's a rumor note. But
all right. So let's go through. I mean, we said some. Let's go with the big names. Prediction. Who do you think wins it? I mean, it's safe to say at this moment, probably Rollins.
All right.
Fan favorite probably in it. I mean, that's the safe
okay.
bet.
So you're going with Rollins?
No, I'm going to go with someone. That's just like
if
you asked.
Okay,
Joe
so let's
Schmo,
just say
they would say Seth Rollins.
Let's say the safe bet right now is Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. If Seth Rollins wins it, is he fighting Cody Rhodes?
You want me to give you my full prediction?
Let's go with who we think's going to win it, and then we'll talk about how we get there.
Seth Rollins, yeah. I'm going to say Seth Rollins. If I had to pick someone that outside that I'd want to win it, I would actually go with Finn Balor.
Oh, you think Finn Balor might win it?
Give the Judgment Day some form of credibility outside of Rhea Ripley.
I just don't think WWE wants their first. They did this with the Universal Champion, but his stock was way higher then.
Yeah. And the biggest thing you're looking at, Rollins, Balor, Priest, Miz, Nakamura, Cody are your Raw wrestlers.
I'm going to go with. Oh, Seth just feels so hot right now. Yeah. There's just, how can you not put it on him, right?
Yeah, it's hard to go against him. Like I said, that's probably who. If I had to take a bet, you put a gun to my head, said who's winning it. I'm picking Seth Rollins.
I feel like Cody Rhodes is going to start beefing with the Judgment Day.
That'd be pretty cool.
You know what I mean? It keeps the Judgment Day a little relevant because they're going to need their next thing.
You could build Dominic even to a bigger star by putting him in a feud with Cody right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, a cup of coffee in the big time. Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah, I'm with you there. If Seth Rollins is fighting Cody Rhodes, I don't know that they're gonna reseat Seth Rollins' wins over Cody Rhodes. So I don't think that's gonna happen. So I don't think Cody Rhodes actually. First of all, how is this playing out? They're gonna do the triple threat match. Then you got 4, right? 4 winners, and now are they gonna tournament that night at Night of Champions? Are they gonna fight multiple times?
God, I hope they do. That'd be cool.
That would be very cool if they do that, because then it changes our predictions a little bit.
We're going to get 2 from Raw, 2 from SmackDown.
All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do our way too early prediction on this, okay? And then when we kind of get a better idea, because if they fight twice that night, then I think Cody Rhodes doesn't end up in the main event of it. I think it ends up Seth Rollins versus Edge. And I think Seth Rollins would win.
Well, it's exactly, but different reason for mine. You got Seth Rollins on one. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. Other side, Bobby Lashley, Edge. Rollins gets on the ring for his match. Cody Rhodes comes down. Brock Lesnar attacks him. Takes him out completely. Seth gets a free into it. Yes, it's going to make it weird, and it's kind of you'd almost get the sense that it makes Seth like winning it lesser, almost heelish.
Yeah.
Technically, Seth is his character is that in between.
He's in between, but they definitely have him as a baby face now.
I'm gonna go with Edge as well. I think Edge, just because you want to have similar to it's not a brand. It's not like AEW when they introduced their title and they had Hangman versus Jericho.
Yeah.
I still think if you have your brand new title, putting it on a legit big star like Edge makes that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I don't think Edge wins.
Yeah, no, I don't think Edge wins.
But you think he's in a finals versus Seth?
I think Seth takes it because it needs to be on Raw. It has to stay on Raw.
I agree. And even if, here's my thoughts. I think if whoever a SmackDown guy was to win it, he would just be on Raw now, and there would be a replacement. That's what we hope, but you never know. WWE does their own thing.
That's.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Cody Rhodes fights Damian Priest and Finn Balor in the first triple threat match on Raw. Okay?
And wins.
And wins, causing a retaliation in the future from Judgment Day onto Cody.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna have
Dom replaces him in the semifinal.
And then Seth Rollins. Who's the other two Raw guys on here?
Miz and Shinsuke.
Yeah, because they're beefing right now, aren't they? Yeah. So and then Miz and Shinsuke, they fight. That's what I think's gonna happen, dude. So, anyways, that's our way too early predictions. I think Cody Rhodes does not win this belt. I think Seth Rollins does. He's too hot. It's just it is what it is.
It's hard, like trying to think of who it is. It's just
of everybody on that list. Me personally, I want to see Seth win it or Edge win it. There's nobody else on there that I would like to see win it. AJ Styles could be a curveball. He would be a big time name and a big time feel for a fight if it's like him versus Seth.
I think AJ is going for. I think once because the brand split technically starts now. Monday will be the first night. I think he's going to go after with Theory, and him and Theory are going to have a little.
I think that'd be great, and I'm all for that. Sign me up. I'm all for that. I think I actually prefer Styles to stay out of the big title picture right now. That's just kind of my thoughts because I was hoping to see like an LA Knight on this. I was hoping to see some of the younger guys. Your boy from NXT, Waller.
Grayson Waller, he would have
been fun just to throw in there right away. But it is what it is.
Could have even thrown and sorry, I'm taking up more time. There's 12 people. Do 4 Raw, 4 SmackDown, 4 NXT.
Yeah,
throw it. If you want to get NXT back to where it should be, do stuff like that. Yes, no one would expect NXT. Maybe a Braun Breaker squeaks out a win at first.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, cool, or Carmelo Hayes, but no, it's Seth. It's Seth's title.
It's Seth's title. It feels that way.
I hope I'm wrong, just because WWE.
Did it keep it interesting?
Yeah, but it's like.
I hope I'm wrong. At this point, I don't hope I'm wrong. At this point, the only way I hope I'm wrong is if it's Edge.
If Roman shows up somehow, he gets into it.
Because I would be fine with Edge being the first champion of this. You know what I mean? I think it would feel big for Edge. He needs it.
Everybody's last title.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right, WWE, put it in the bag. Put it in the books. It's behind us. Let's roll on. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan. It's been announced on Forbes that they have pre-sold
over 65,000 tickets.
65K. So what we do know is that they're going to get more.
Yeah.
So now it feels, I don't know if they're going to get 25,000 more, but the fact that they've got 65K, they're probably going to hit 70 for sure. It's already a major, huge success. Smart to do this overseas rather than try to, pull 70,000 in
Wichita, Kansas.
In Wichita, Kansas, exactly.
No offense to the people of Wichita.
Oh, fine human beings there in Wichita. But yes, I'm with you. So I think so All Elite Wrestling, great PR for them. And then they had Dynamite last week, which we're kind of going to get a story that we've been wanting to see. The Pillars match is going to happen.
So if you weren't following up on that, Sammy Guevara ended up getting a shot or won by dastardly means being a heel. He was going to be the main event with MJF at a Double or Nothing, but then they did, MJF, Sammy, you're going to tag match against Jungle Boy and Darby. If they win, they're added to the match. If you guys win, it's going to stay the singles match. Match happens. Good match, you would think. But how can the two heels coexist together?
Right.
They're, hitting moves on each other and then before tagging them in and out. And then after they go
old school,
they go for the pin, it gets broken up. We're just trying to win. And I don't know if you realize MJF's elbow pad said, "I love Sammy" on it.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
it did?
Yeah. So
the little details with that, man.
It ends up Sammy Guevara super kicks MJF, but then gets just demolished with two finishers back to back, and then gets pinned. So it is now a fatal 4-way pillar.
Important to note that Guevara is the one that got pinned. Yeah.
Because the whole thing was going to be, if they won, MJF was going to pay Sammy a very large amount of money just to lay down.
Yes.
So leads into, now we're getting a pillars match a little bit earlier than I thought we would.
Wait, when is this touted to be? Do we know when this is going to happen?
Oh, Double or Nothing.
This is Double or Nothing.
Next
okay.
pay-per-view.
This is okay.
Main event and next pay-per-view.
And that's in May, right? This is this month.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So,
which no, to me this made sense though that they were going to happen at this pay-per-view, because I just didn't see this headlining Wembley. I didn't see it being the big, you know what I mean? Not that it's going to headline it, but like a double main event type thing. You know what I mean? I just didn't see that happen. I think MJF needs a bigger rival, and it's probably going to be Adam Cole, in my opinion.
I still think the main event of Wembley's Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, just for the New Japan or IWGP United States Championship.
I just don't think it's going to be, and I'll tell you why. I don't think you want your last match at an AEW pay-per-view being an IWGP title. I think it's going to be huge. It'll be a double main event. It'll be a big fight on the card. It's not going to be the last match.
Well, so I'm just saying, I'm predicting Kenny to have that title. You got to think, we have Double or Nothing this month.
Yep.
Next month we have either, I believe it's All Out.
In June?
It's either next month we have either All Out or Forbidden Door 2. And then we have July,
I think it's Forbidden Door.
July is All Out. And then All ends in August.
So is this going? So how many pay-per-view do they have now? Because they were only doing once every 3.
Yeah.
Now they've got 7. Yeah. They're gonna have 7 this year. Okay.
So
this is set, dude. So think about this summer now. You're gonna have Forbidden Door 2. You're gonna have All Out. You're gonna have Wembley, that's gonna be All In.
All In, yeah.
All In. It's a little confusing to me. But you're going to have those 3. You're going to have, I think, Money in the Bank, right?
Yep.
Night of the Champions.
Yep.
And you're going to have SummerSlam.
Yep. All in that period.
Ooh, boy, we got some wrestling to do. We got some watch parties are going to happen, taking place this summer, boy.
It's going to be a huge
summer
of wrestling.
Yeah.
A summer of punk, some would say.
Some would say if we're gonna get him back into the building. I like this next one. I want to talk about the next one. Adam Cole and Jericho.
So the whole thing, Adam Cole.
I think this is the right introduction for Adam Cole.
Back into it.
Yeah.
Because you had the little thing with Danny Garcia, just the first match back, first perfect person to have, but first feud. So whole thing, Adam Cole got pretty much helping Britt Baker, gets cuffed to the ropes while Britt Baker just gets annihilated by the JAS and the Outcast. Sorry, I couldn't think of their name for a second. And then leading into now the last few weeks, Adam Cole's trying to get to Jericho. We get the introduction of Roderick Strong in AEW. This week they had a 4-man.
Yep.
Just 2 random paired teams of Adam Cole and Roderick Strong and Bandito and Orange Cassidy versus JAS. Match goes, they win. And instantly, instead of celebrating, Adam Cole books it to the announce table where Jericho's at, and they just start brawling. And the whole time I'm commentating, Jericho's just like, "Oh, how can you cheer for a man who can't defend his woman?" and stuff like that, just going off.
And the only way he knows how, yeah.
And so that's going to be their first match. Very personal rivalry here. Side note too, I know. I think we're going to get the Outcast versus a group because Hikaru Shida returned too. So she'll probably team up with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and we'll get a 6-man match there.
That needs to happen too.
I still think down the road we'll get a Blood and Guts.
Get a Blood and Guts
of women's one. Also, side note, AEW's in.
You're gonna side note your side note.
I'm side noting everything.
Sidebar, don't you? Okay.
AEW is in Detroit this week.
I know. Side note: steel cage match with Moxley and Mega. And I'm thinking we should go.
I got work, man.
Damn, I got a long night too. I got work as well. I'll be up there till 8:30. I might figure it out. What are tickets? Let's look up tickets right now.
Probably expensive.
No way. We could go for $35
Well,
bucks.
you got that. There's a couple other big matches on that card too.
AEW tickets, Detroit prices. We're gonna do this right now, live on air.
I'm gonna look up the card.
Let's see. You don't need a card. All you need is blood, baby, from Moxley in the steel cage. Yeah, maybe May 10th, right here, Ticketmaster. We could go right now. I could buy these tickets for $29, baby.
Dude, you got Danny Garcia versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW all international title.
International title now, remember?
Love it. Okay, so yeah, that's and then should we talk about the big match that happened on Rampage before we talk about Mr. Punk?
Remind me.
The firm deletion.
Oh, yeah. So this is gonna be cool, right? This is
I like do you like cinematic matches?
I do. As long as they're not all the time, right? I should say this. I'm intrigued by them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always love them. I did not love Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that was bad. That one's kind of bad.
I did, however, love Bray Wyatt's storytelling with John Cena and obviously the GOAT of AJ Styles and Taker. And I did love the deletion, the first one.
Yeah,
the final deletion.
They're good. I feel like these ones with Matt Hardy they're the same thing every time.
Every time. They're off the wall.
But like it's the same thing. Like we're gonna see Senor Benjamin. It's gonna start off with Vanguard 1 in a holograph of Matt Hardy. The Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat's probably gonna show up, but I love it. Or Isaiah Cassidy standing on top of the trailer and just moaning. It's if you haven't watched it, go watch it. You'll look at it and you'll be like, "This is."
A lot of people don't even know what cinematic matches are. Basically, they're just pre-recorded. It's kind of like a lot of what was going on during COVID. It's a movie.
It's a small short film.
But they're fighting along the way.
Go watch it. It's chaotic. Like Stokely Hathaway gets beat up by Matt Hardy's kid at one point. It's like. I got to tell
you, my thought, though, is on cinematic matches are, if I was there at the crowd,
I'd be mad.
I'd be pissed. If I'm sitting there watching a screen for 15 minutes, you know what I mean? I would not be happy about that.
But, I mean, that one occurred on Rampage.
So name all the players in this one.
So it was Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Hook, Isaiah Cassidy on a team, and then the other one was Ethan Page, Stokely Hathaway, Big Bill.
Yeah, Big Bill.
And Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's just nonsense, but it's a good time. You'll laugh. You'll be like, what? Why do people like this? But it's just fun.
It's the car crash that we. It's because we know the players.
Yeah, and it's a match that if you go show someone who doesn't watch wrestling, you'll be like, if you show them, your 5-star matches, you can be like, this is a spectrum. You have your 5-star classic matches to this cinematic match that makes no sense, but it's funny. So just sit back and enjoy it.
Last one? You think it's the last one?
No.
As far as the deletion ones?
No, they'll do it.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll do. Matt Hardy will do. Matt Hardy.
He'll retire and then just do those.
Yeah. He'll probably feud with Jeff Hardy again at some point, and they'll do another one. And
it is good to see Hardy back.
As it said, my favorite part though was Isaiah Cassidy just standing and then jumping off.
All right. So I'm glad Hook was in this because I want to talk about Hook. I want to talk about this last line here. What's your thoughts? Because we were talking about trios and we're talking about House of Black. And we were so excited at Revolution. When they won, and we're like, they're finally going to utilize them right.
And they did for 2 weeks.
They did for 2 weeks, but then they go away for a while. I don't know if you watch Access, AEW Access.
I watched the first episode, and I haven't.
So I watched the last episode, and Sammy Guevara is kind of cornered Tony Khan in his office, and he's basically saying, hey, look, are you happy with what I'm doing? I feel like I should be doing this. We should be doing momentum off of this, and yada, yada. And then they show Tony Khan unravel his booking sheet. And this thing is crazy. It's like 3 papers long this way, the same height. It's all handwritten, gridded out, and it's basically Long Storm booking. He's got every pay-per-view here. He's got every wrestler on his roster here. And basically, he's got them all penciled in, just making sure that they don't go a month without being seen. Yeah. But there's a lot of gaps along the way. I felt like for a while there, Hook was on his way to be a major star.
Oh, yeah. And then he all the way won his dad's belt.
Yes.
AEW belt, and then we didn't see him.
And then we don't see him.
And then he gets brought back for a couple matches with Danhausen, a couple matches with Hook.
It just
don't see him.
Feels so random to me. AEW feels random to me. You're the guy that's watching it every week because it's more of your taste and your pace.
Yeah.
We this is what we love. I love about our show. But at the same time, and this is why I'm leaning on you and I'm asking you, as somebody who does look forward to watching AEW every week, do you really understand what you're watching or why you're watching it every week? Or is that by design because it doesn't matter because you know you're going to get banger matches that you are excited about? Because I got to be honest with you, it's like if I'm a fan of Hook and he's not on my TV every week and he should be, I'm a little confused.
So to answer that question, to start out, I was, because AEW, that was their kind of thing that, like, they didn't really have stories. It was the banger after banger. Now that we're getting...
But when they first started out, though, they didn't have that big of a roster.
That, and
you were seeing the same guys all the time.
Yeah, and then you could always, if they weren't, your favorite wasn't on Dynamite at that point, because Rampage really wasn't that big of a thing at the start, you knew they were going to be on Dark. Probably. Or
right.
That. So you could go watch that, and it's pandemic time, so what else is better you have to do? Now we do have storylines, but their roster is so big that you lose people, and not everybody's gonna be on Dark. Like, in all honesty, when I knew Adam Cole got injured, he was out. I was sitting there like, where's Kyle O'Reilly?
Yeah.
It took me forever to realize, oh yeah, he's also injured.
Yeah.
But they don't
announce it.
They don't acknowledge any of that. They don't. Miro. What has Miro been doing? Miro hasn't been on in forever.
Dude, we
just talked about the House of Black.
Yes.
3 weeks after they win the title, they're focused on there. Now, the member we see the most is Julia Hart. They haven't defended that title in forever.
This is what I'm talking about. So Miro, Keith Lee, Hook, Wardlow from last year. These are guys that were legitimately, you know what I mean? Becoming stars. My question to you is, I guess, how do I want to word this? All right, name the stars that have come over, name the stars that have signed. Doesn't have to be just from WWE, but just signed with AEW that weren't a part of the original cast that is better off now. I'll give you a few. Okay?
Yeah, give me your few before.
I do think Cesaro.
Yeah,
Claudio. I do think he is somebody who has 100%. Yeah. Obviously, Chris Jericho still relevant. Bryan Danielson still. Jon Moxley, those guys. But, Jericho started with him.
Yeah. So did Moxley, too.
So did Moxley. Okay. So Bryan Danielson is another one because he wasn't with the original run. He came over. They utilize him well. Give me more. Adam Cole was hurt. It's hard to tell what he is because he's been hurt so quickly.
He was on the track to be it and then got...
Right. So let's put him to the side. We won't say he's a plus or a minus to this thing.
You put me on the spot because...
No. Name somebody that's not a part of the original group that signed with them that is better off than they were before. Even Matt Hardy and them.
There's only one person I could say that because he's constantly on TV, but his role isn't that much right now is Swerve.
Okay.
So,
but he's constantly on TV. That's a lot of time. These guys just want TV time.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that as a win.
I can't think of it.
So tell me why, when people leave their respected, whether it be Impact or WWE, AEW felt like for a while they were signing everybody, right? I would be a little hesitant to sign there because they've got so much talent now. They do have more shows than ever before, and maybe that's what the Saturday shows are going to be. But, it just feels to me that because I've seen it firsthand, the way he's booking things, there's no continuity with these wrestlers where I would be, if I'm a fan of Hook, damn it, I want to see him in my face every week.
Oh,
Can you?
Only other one, FTR.
FTR.
That's the only other one.
Yep. Okay. I'm with you. I just wanted to put that out there. I just would really like to see AEW utilize their talent more, because Danhausen and Hook had a thing, and then it was cool because Hook was an individual guy. He was kind of doing it his way, and you think there should have been, okay, he got the Taz's belt. That should have been on TV every week then. You know what I mean? Especially for how fast and furious that 2 hours goes with them. So, I don't know. I just would like to see that a little more.
Let's see if when they potentially start the second show, if they do their own kind of brand split or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Motor Torque Wrestling says, if Drew McIntyre perhaps heads the AEW, I see him staying a half year, just testing out before signing a multi-deal. Now, is that a multi-deal signing with AEW, or does he go back to WWE? Who knows? Motor Torque Wrestling also says that Tony Khan doing that. I can see Tony Khan doing that because we know right now AEW got some hype around Wembley. It's safe to say that Motor Torque Wrestling, he also sees AEW going to Puerto Rico next.
I mean,
to book Revolution there.
I don't know why you wouldn't. You see the success those fans are that loved it there. That's where I think, so now that, All Out is kind of their big pay-per-view. I think we're going to see that whenever they go to a new location that they've never been, like, all in.
Okay.
They could do Revolution, but I see them more doing all in.
I think it's good for them to
Mexico City, all in, in Japan, trying to do almost, because it's like, all in was a start of AEW. I mean, it wasn't the start, but it was what kind of got
one of the
years and most
pillars of.
So, hey, we're coming into your area.
Yeah.
For your nation, we want you to be all in with us.
Yes. So. No, I'm with it, man. I think that dude, I'm sold on these international shows. I used to be hardcore, like, oh my God, they're in London this week for Raw. That was me as a kid, because you're going to have that corny car on the stage. You're going to have the flag, the telephone booth. But then now in my adult, like, these guys are just going ape shit. It just makes for a better watch. Really, really does. Latest and greatest on CM Punk, just to kind of give you an update on that, ladies and gentlemen. Jericho sat down and had a meeting with him this past week. From everything I understand, Jericho's kind of playing mediator with between them, the elite, and a lot of the guys that Punk might have rubbed the wrong way, and vice versa. And according to everybody, it went well. So it does feel like CM Punk is ready to come back, and it does feel like it's going to be AEW that he comes back to.
Bring him back.
Now, would you be shocked if you read something this week where CM Punk is about ready to sign a deal with WWE or any other company other than AEW? Like, I feel like there's so many twists and turns with this storyline.
There was something I saw that because social media will skew everything.
Yeah.
CM Punk going to Raw, Monday Night Raw, was to spy.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, I don't know. The moment, just bring him back. Just get him on TV. Yes, I know people. You hate him, you love him, you think he's an a-hole or not. It's CM Punk. He's gonna put butts in seats, and he's gonna make you a lot of money. And you tell me the moment you hear Cult of Personality here, you're not gonna lose your shit.
And the moment you hear Cult of Personality, what I hear is the register, because he's gonna make everybody else more money too, because more eyes are gonna be on the thing.
Whatever new shirt he's wearing, I bet you in an hour it'll be the #1 shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Easily. Yep.
Everybody's making money. Tony Khan's happy.
I think what needs to happen is he just needs to come back, face the storm, and then 2-3 weeks later, it's just back to business. Everybody is happy.
And people just need to elite. I like the elite. They need to grow up a little bit with some of their stuff.
For sure.
Don't cause issues.
You got KO shirt on right now. We ain't talking Owens, baby.
Kenny Omega, baby.
Anything else for the good of the order, baby?
I mean, if this coming up, we got a lot of wrestling. Kind of storylines going here and there. I'm very excited to see what they do with the Solo and Jay. That's kind of thing that's If you asked me, you go, Grant, you got the Bloodline storyline a year or two ago when it first started. Would you be invested this long? I'm like, no. Now I'm like, I turn on SmackDown.
I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball here, real quick. What if Jimmy starts getting a bigger role in all this?
Should.
Should, right? He's kind of been like the man sitting on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
He needs to get a little more aggressive. Be like, you know what? I've had enough with all the shit. You know what I mean?
I think he should. And I'm not trying to be mean or sound awful, but I think WWE would love to do that. But he's the one who always has the demons.
Yeah.
Are they almost worried to invest in him and then?
Yeah, he's the one that always kind of, demons is a good way of putting that. DUIs, he's the guy that hurts them and you can't invest.
Motor Torque Wrestling, I agree with you. This fire by Killswitch Engage is fantastic. And that's.
Oh, you want to see him come back with Killswitch?
Especially when Chicago, when they hit that Money in the Bank.
Oh, dude. I don't know, man. Money in the Bank, well, did he have Killswitch then? I thought he went to Cult of Personality.
Right. He went to Cult of Personality after that.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did, I promise you.
You're talking 2011 Money in the Bank with John Cena.
Yes,
he didn't come out to Cult of Personality then.
He came out until this fire.
Motor Torque, I want to know what you think. Did he come out to Cult of Personality or Killswitch at Money in the Bank 2011?
I guarantee. I love him.
Really? He didn't say anything yet.
Here you go. Or let's see.
Let's put it in the mic. This is 2011 in Chicago. Money in the Bank. Put it in the mic. Motor Torque says Cult of Personality. Wow. Dude, goosebumps though. Yeah.
See? He's even got the picture.
Dude, we were wrong, baby. We were wrong.
Hey, I don't mess around with Killswitch. I love Killswitch Engage.
I should have known by the passion that was exuding off of you, damn it.
I'm a mark, that's why.
That's right. Never mess with a mark. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Bang Bang live as always. Next week, we'll get that number up there. We told you we were going to do it. We didn't do it. It's going to be 517-442-5026. Get ready to call us next week. Very excited to talk professional wrestling, diving into a lot of the things. I just wanted to say the side note, Bray Wyatt, I read, he's still not been cleared. So there must have been a legitimate injury out there somewhere. I just wonder what he can come back to. He hasn't been drafted.
Injured, he had one match.
I know.
I mean, he probably got injured training.
But if you get on the Stars, he's still active, but he has not he's not been drafted, and he's not a free agent.
Oh, let him be a free agent, though. I don't want him drafted to a brand. Let him go back and forth and just.
I hope whatever they do when he comes back, they tighten this thing up and they just hit the ground running with something. At this point, I just want to see Bray Wyatt by himself. I was excited to get this Circle 6 or whatever, the Wyatt 6 and all this stuff. I'm past that now. A lot of the guys we wanted to be in that have signed with other companies or
of Honor and stuff like that.
For sure.
I got to do my NXT 60.
Yes, NXT 60. Sorry, I almost forgot about it.
I didn't watch NXT this week, so I don't know.
And there's your NXT 60.
I guess the next feud for the North American Championship is going to be Wesley versus Tyler Bate, and that's going to be fantastic. So,
out of 10 stars, your level of excitement for that? You said fantastic. So, give me what? 1, 2, 3.
For that Tyler Bate Wesley?
Yeah.
9.
Ooh, okay.
Man, that's going to be a fan.
If you tell me it's a 9, I might even tune in.
I'm in. I'm signed up for that. And the big thing, like, they did what we thought. Indy Hartwell going up to main roster. They're going to do a tournament.
Yep.
I expect to see something soon with the women's tag team champion, women's NXT tag team championships as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, and to be honest with you, I'm very excited for, at least we're getting a fresh start this week on Raw and on SmackDown. We've got 4 very high profile, matches just to kind of see who those guys will be coming out of it.
And I'm kind of excited to see how these shows are booked and how they plan out. Is Vince in charge of both of them? Is Triple H in charge of SmackDown? What is the...
Yeah, and we talked about that. It can't be when there's something good happening. It can't just be Triple H, and when there's something bad happening, it can't be Vince McMahon. But I have read that there's been nothing but chaos in the backstage area at multiple wrestling pay-per-views. Again, who knows where the truth is there? Motor Torque Wrestling, thanks for stopping by. Bray Wyatt was spotted outside WWE today. Throw me your source next time. We'll see you in a week. Next Sunday, 7 o'clock p.m. As always, follow, like, subscribe. Maybe we'll do something with those Instagrams out there in the Twitter world. We'll see you guys on down the road.
Side note, next time we do a prop bet, instead of doing a chop, we're doing a Samoan spike.
Oh my God. I'm all for that.